Overthinking is destroying your peace, and you already know it. You replay conversations hours after they're over. You question every decision before and after you make it. You lie in bed at night running through 100 scenarios that never actually happen. Your brain doesn't rest like a washing machine full of thoughts that never stop spinning. It just circles. If that's you, you're not crazy, you're not weak, you're just exhausted from living entirely in your head. Here's what nobody tells you about your 30s. Life starts to feel serious. Your choices feel heavier. Career, relationships, money, health, future. Suddenly, it's not just, I'll figure it out later. It's, if I mess this up, I might feel it for years. So your mind tries to protect you by thinking through every angle, but protection slowly turns into prison. You replay what you said in that meeting, you overanalyze that text, you draft replies, delete them, rewrite them, you imagine worst case outcomes, then blame yourself for not being decisive enough. You're not lazy, you're not indecisive by nature. You're just carrying too much pressure inside one mind that never gets a break. Let me introduce you to Mr. the Overthinker. He is 32, smart, capable, kind. Everyone around him thinks he's overthinking a little, but they have no idea how bad it actually is. He'll get a simple message from his boss, "Can we talk tomorrow?" And his brain immediately spins out, "Did I mess something up? Am I in trouble? Are they going to fire me?" He replays last week, last month, last project, searching for mistakes. When he goes on a date, he comes home and dissects every minute. What did she mean by that pause? Did I talk too much? Should I text first? Or wait? Even on weekends when he's supposed to relax, his mind is working overtime. From the outside, he looks like a normal guy living a normal life. Inside, he's mentally exhausted all the time. One night, he was lying in bed, scrolling on his phone, mind racing. He'd been thinking about his career, his relationships, his future, all tangled into one giant knot in his chest. He put the phone down, stared at the ceiling, and realized something dark. He was spending more time imagining his life than actually living it. He felt ashamed for not being able to just relax. He felt weak for constantly second guessing himself. He felt disconnected from the version of him that used to be spontaneous and alive. And underneath all the noise, there was this quiet, painful belief: I can't trust myself. That was his real low point, not the anxiety itself, but the loss of self trust. The turning point didn't come from a productivity hack or some just stop thinking so much advice. It came from one simple realization: overthinking isn't about the future, it's about fear, fear of making the wrong move, fear of being judged, fear of losing control. Ben realized his brain wasn't the enemy. It was trying to protect him from pain, embarrassment, or failure. So instead of asking, "How do I stop thinking?" he started asking, "What is my mind so afraid of right now?" 'Cause that was the mindset shift. He stopped treating overthinking like a random habit and started seeing it as a signal. There's something here I don't feel safe about. That didn't instantly calm his mind, but it gave him a way to work with it instead of against it. Mr. the Overthinker comeback was slow, messy, and real. There was no dramatic transformation, just small, consistent changes. He started journaling every night. Not some perfect gratitude list, just a simple practice. What am I overthinking about today? What am I actually afraid will happen? What is one thing I can do about it? Putting thoughts on paper stopped them from bouncing endlessly around his skull. He also began using tiny rules with himself. If a decision is reversible and not life changing, he gives himself a 5-minute limit to choose. If he catches himself replaying the same scenario more than 3 times, he takes a break: a walk, a stretch, a shower, a glass of water, anything that brings him back into his body. He started putting boundaries around his thinking time. I'll worry about this for 10 minutes, then I move on and revisit it tomorrow. Most importantly, he practiced acting without feeling 100% ready. Send the text, submit the email, say yes, say no, then let reality give feedback instead of letting his imagination torture him. Day by day, his brain started to relax because it saw something new. Even when he made imperfect choices, he was still okay. That's how self trust slowly returned. Here's the belief shift you might need: you don't need to fix your mind. You need to trust yourself more than your fear. Overthinking is what happens when your brain doesn't believe you'll be okay if things don't go perfectly. So it keeps over preparing, over analyzing, over protecting. But you've survived every mistake so far. You've handled more than you give yourself credit for. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're not hopeless. You're just carrying too much fear by yourself. And fear loses power when you take small, imperfect actions anyway. You calm your mind by proving through experience that you'll figure things out as you go. If this message hit close to home, you're not alone. Feel free to subscribe only if this helped you feel a little less trapped in your own head. And if you're comfortable, share one sentence of your story in the comments. You never know who might read it and feel understood for the first time. You're not broken, you're becoming one small shift at a time.